All right, welcome to Software, where math becomes clear and easy to understand. So, in today's lesson, we will be dealing with additions in metrics. And of course, before we continue, we know that a matrix is a rectangular array of numbers exhibited in between a bracket. It is usually arranged in rows and columns as seen in the example we have. That is a 2 by 2 matrix. So basically what we'll be doing is addition, how to add two matrices together. So now just for instance, this is what we call a 2 by 2 matrix, a matrix that has two columns and two rows is what we call a 2 by 2 matrix. For instance, we have this, and then two columns. So this is what we call a 2 by 2 matrix. And then for the other one, it is what we call a 3 by 3 matrix. It has three rows and three columns. So basically, in addition of matrices, it is important to note that we add matrix of the same form. That is, you can either add a 2 by 2 matrix, a 3 by 3 matrix, a 1 by 3 matrix by a 1 by 3 matrix. So it is important to note that. So let's move forward. So, okay, as you can see here, matrices that cannot be added. So you can see here we have a 2 by 2 and a 3 by 3 matrix. They cannot be added together because they have different entries. There are different rows and columns in each of them. So it is important to note that to add these matrices, you must ensure that they have the same form. Either both of them are 2 by 2, or both of them are 3 by 3, or 1 by 3, depending on the matrix in question. So without wasting much time, let's go straight into it. Let's solve some exercises. All right, so let's look at the first question we have on our screen. So the first question here is a matrix of 2 by 2. I have two rows and two columns. So the first is 2 rows and the second as well, 2 rows and 2 columns. So now what do we do? Now what we do is, for this one now, the value in the first column and under the first row as well, add both of these together because we are doing addition. So we'll add 3, we'll add 3 plus 4. That's what we'll do. So, and if we do that, we should have 7. So write it on 7, on the particular position where it should be, and the exact position where we selected both numbers from. Do the same for this, for the next one, on the first row as well, but second column. 1 plus 6, and 1 plus 6, of course, should give us 7. So 1 plus 6 should give us 7. So this as well should give us 7. And then we'll go under this, which is the second row and first column for both. And we'll add both of these, 5 plus 1. and that should give us 5, 6, sorry. 5 plus 1 should give us 6. And then we'll add this as well. 2 plus 3, and that should give us 5. So this becomes the answer for this. I hope it is clear. So let's solve more exercises so we get to understand much better. All right, so let's look at question 2. So for question 2, we'll do the same thing as well. It's a 2 by 2 matrix. So 2 by 2 matrix. So let's just go ahead and pick the values to be added. So for the first one, we'll have 7 plus a negative 3, adding 7 to a negative 3. So in that case, of course, we have a positive and negative sign. So which means this will change. This will change to a negative sign. So leaving us with 7 minus 3. And 7 minus 3 is what? 4. So also move to the next one. We have negative 2, adding 5. Negative 2, adding 5. So of course, we know our basic operations. So if we have two opposite signs, look for the sign that has the larger number, which is 5. So know that definitely our answer will be a positive number. So then the next thing we'll do is subtract the larger number from the smaller one. It means we'll have 5 minus 2, and that should give us 3. So we'll go to the next one as well. In this case, we have 0 adding 6. And 0 adding 6, of course, should give us 6. And the next one is 4 adding negative 1. We have 4 adding a negative 1. And of course, the same thing will happen here. This sign will change to a negative sign. It will have 4 minus 1, and that should give us 3. So that should give us 3. That's for question 2. All right, for question 3, in this case, we have a 3 by 3 matrix. You can see that we have a 3 by 3 matrix. So let's do it the same way we did the previous ones. Look at the first value on the first row and first column. We add both of them. This is 1 adding 9, and that should give us 10. And then we do the same thing for the next value. We have 2 adding 8. 2 adding 8 should equally give us 10. Go to the next one. We have 3 adding 7. That should give us 10 as well. Now we move to the second row, but under the first column. And in this case, we have 4 adding 6. 4 adding 6, of course, is 10. And then we move to the next one. We have 5 adding 5. 10. And then we have 6 adding 4 is also 10. And then we have 7 adding 3, which is 10. And then we have 8 adding 2, which is 10 also. And finally, 9 adding 1, which is 10. So I hope you're seeing the way I am adding it. I'll look for the same values that correspond to both. First value in the first row, first column, I'll add it to the first value in the first row and first column. So that's what I'll do for all the values that way, and I'll get my answer correctly. Okay, so let's do this as well. We have 5 adding 1, which should give us 6. Of course, we know that this is a 2 by 3 matrix. It's a 2 by 3 matrix. So we have 5 adding 1, and then we have 0 adding 2, which is 2. We have -1 adding 3. -1 plus 3. So we look at, they have opposite sign, but the one with 3 is the bigger number. So which means definitely our answer will be a positive number. So what do we do next? Subtract. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So we should have 2 here. So we move to the next one. We have 2 adding -2. 2 adding -2. So this should give us 2. Of course, if this 2 multiplies, it changes to a negative sign. 2 minus 2 should give us 0. 4. Okay, so 1. And then we have 3 adding 1, which is 4. And then we have 4 adding 0, which is 4. So this becomes our answer. Right, guys, so if you look at question 7, you'll see something that the first matrix here is a 2 by 2, and the second matrix is a 3 by 3 matrix. So of course this cannot work because they don't have the same rows and columns. So this cannot work. So that will be all for today's class. I will see you in the next lesson.